Pocahontas finally exposed as a fraud, Trump and Stormy go at it again, and the public remains blissfully ignorant of why the US will never dare to stand in opposition to Saudi Arabia. Coming up on Today with 2 Cents. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Today with 2 Cents, wrapping up your weekly news. Well, it should be no surprise to anyone that this week's hottest story was Senator Elizabeth Warren. I mean hot, of course, by number of people sharing the story, not Elizabeth Warren herself. Long criticized for her suspicious claims of Native American ancestry, Warren finally released a DNA test that she seemed to believe would validate her ancestral claims. Problem is, as it turns out, Warren has less Native American DNA than the average American.
And here with more is GOP Congressman and member of the Cherokee Nation, Markwayne Mullin. Markwayne, thank you for being with us. I know you're one of 2 Native Americans serving in Congress for us. We wanted to have you on to find out what your opinion was of this. Are you offended by her using her alleged Native American heritage to try to win elections?
Well, thanks for having us on, or having me on, but I don't know if I would say offended, but it is extremely disappointing. I mean, when she's out there claiming that she's Native American just because she's from Oklahoma, look, there was a 2014 study, a scientific study, and they said the average European American walking around is 0.18% Native American. She's half of that. So the idea that she continues to double down on this lie is the most disgusting thing to me. It's the fact that she's in the public eye and she continues to use this. And
Sorry, Senator Warren, but if you think 1/1024th of your DNA makes you Native American, then what do you have to say about the fact that the average African American has 20% white DNA? By your logic, most blacks are whiter than you are Native American. Or maybe what you meant to say all this time is that you're white, but you identify as Native American. If so, you probably should have just gone with that from the start. It might have earned you a drop of respect from America's 0.6% of the population who identify as transgender, trans species, and trans whatever.
My DNA test came back. They found I could be less than 1/1000th Native American.
Ah, the DNA test. Enemy of the fake Indians. Back when I was young, the DNA test came, and night entered our future with it.
Porn star and former lover of President Trump, Stormy Daniels, is back in the news this week. Her defamation suit against the president has been dismissed, and now she's been ordered to pay his legal fees. President Trump wasted no time gloating about this victory, tweeting, "Great, now I can go after Horseface and her third-rate lawyer in the great state of Texas. She will confirm the letter she signed. She knows nothing about me. Total con." The jilted lover, of course, shot back, "Ladies and gentlemen, may I present your president. In addition to his, shortcomings, he has demonstrated his incompetence, hatred of women, and lack of self-control on Twitter again, and perhaps a penchant for bestiality. Game on, Tiny." As you can see, both these individuals are handling this matter with the utmost maturity. However, Michael Avenatti, aforementioned third-rate lawyer, and 2020 Democratic presidential candidate hopeful shot back via a video about the inappropriateness of President Trump's comments.
It's a sad day in America when the President of the United States calls a woman a horseface. Donald Trump should be ashamed of himself. I don't care if you're on the right, the left, or the center. No man should call a woman a horseface, especially the President of the United States. I have 2 daughters. I think it's a disgrace. I don't care what your political persuasion is. You should condemn it as well. It's wrong.
Well, Michael, I've just got to say, I think it's despicable for a woman to insult the penis of the President of the United States. I don't care what your political persuasion. You should condemn it. Trump and Stormy are both clowns, but I think anyone with half a brain can see that Stormy and Avenatti are just opportunists trying to cash in. Stormy was more than willing to sleep with the president when she thought it would be advantageous to her career. She's more than willing now to lead the opposition against him when it's well, advantageous to her career.
Are you crazy? I don't want to take a chance on being gay.
We'll give you $125.
All right, I'll do it. Boy, you're more persuasive than James Bond.
Another story that captured headlines this week was the news that journalist Jamal Khashoggi, longtime critic of the Saudi Arabian government, was murdered by Saudi agents in the Saudi Arabian consulate in Istanbul. President Trump was very consistent in his defense of the Saudis' innocence until proven guilty, and even after the proof came out, he seemed hesitant to say whether or not the U.S. will punish the Saudis with sanctions of any kind.
Yes.
Mr. President, you said yesterday that you would be considering severe consequences for Saudi Arabia about the killing of the journalist. What are you considering?
Well, I think it's too early to say. We want to see. We're doing investigations right now. We have a lot of people working on it. We do, and we have other countries working on it, as you know. It's a very serious problem. You people are going to be very much involved in this, too, indirectly and directly. It's something that we don't like. It's very serious stuff.
As my friend AmeriCap recently said, status gonna state. What's tragic in all this is that most people don't realize that the reason this is going down as it is that the US can't afford to offend the Saudis in any way. They are still critical to upholding the international petrodollar system, in which oil can only be bought and sold with US dollars. Thanks to a deal that Henry Kissinger made with the Saudis back in the 1970s, this is virtually the only reason the dollar continues to retain value, despite the Fed's constant printing of new money. Politicians talk a big game about how we care about human rights abuses in other countries, but they don't. Foreign policy interventions, or I guess non-interventions in the case of Saudi Arabia, have and always will be about the state sustaining the systems by which it maintains power over the people. Saudi Arabia is indeed a totalitarian state with numerous human rights abuses under its belt, but the US government isn't exactly innocent in the things it's done to maintain its power. Are we not yet realizing that the state is the cause of our problems and not the solution?
The government takes everything we make to pay for all of their solutions. Healthcare, climate change, pollution. Throw away the Constitution.
In a final piece of news that gave me a laugh this week, Lady Clinton is once again running her mouth. Retire, Mrs. Clinton, please! Anyways, Hillary has claimed that there was no abuse of power involved in her husband's affair with White House intern Monica Lewinsky.
In retrospect, do you think Bill should have resigned in the wake of the Monica Lewinsky scandal?
Absolutely not.
It wasn't an abuse of power?
No, no.
There are people who look at the incidents of the 90s and they say a president of the United States cannot have a consensual relationship with an intern. The power imbalance is too great.
Who was an adult. But let me ask you this. Where's the investigation of the current incumbent, against whom numerous allegations have been made?
I am shocked to say this, but I actually agree with part of what Hillary is saying here. I think it's absurd to say that Clinton's relationship with Lewinsky wasn't consensual just because of the power he held as president. If that were true, it would mean that no man in a position of power could ever be in a relationship of any kind, and it would reinforce this ridiculous notion that women are too inherently weak to say no. However, what Hillary gets really wrong, as does her interviewer, is that an airhead like Lewinsky who consented to her relationship with Clinton was never the issue. The issue is women like Paula Jones and Juanita Broaddrick, who were harassed and raped by Clinton respectively, even though they explicitly said no. Everyone harasses Clinton for his consensual affair, and while this would be sleazy for any married president, should we maybe condemn him for actual sexual assaults? Where's the Me Too mob on this?
Okay, your turn to spin the bottle, guy dressed like Bill Clinton.
Yeah, dressed like.
And it's that time of the week. Time for the Weekly Hottie. Drum roll, please. This week's Weekly Hottie is former Miss Florida 2014, Brittany Oldehoff. I found her channel earlier this week and picked up the following clips from a Zailful try-on haul.
I bought like little two-piece outfits. What is that outfit? Got little button details on the front. and then it comes with this top that you can wear like this. Really cute on. It's more for like lounging around the house and kind of hanging out. I don't know if I would necessarily wear this outfit out just because it's a little bit naked. Move, basically. This doesn't. You're kind of still able to, you know, give a little movement to your body, and the material is phenomenal. I love this. This is actually probably my favorite thing that I had. The girls do look good. I can agree with that. But the bottom through the jeans, like I would wear this with white jeans. No, not gonna happen. I'll definitely cut it and tuck it because that's a mess waiting to happen.
And that's it for this week. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also, follow me on Twitter and other social media platforms. Check out the content on my website, my2centsvideos.com. Leave a review on iTunes, and if you're able, please consider supporting me on Patreon. And that is my 2 cents. Take it for what it's worth.